This is not really a journal so much as this is um, a showpiece. As you can see, it's stuffed full of fun stuff. I might have to stand up to make sure that I stay in frame. Let me go ahead and do that. There's so much in this one, and it's going to take a minute to go through. Now, as I stated in my last video, I had made 2 journals for 2 friends. That they don't know at this time as of filming this that they're getting these, but by the time you see these, they will have received these. Okay, so let's get the business out of the way. As usual, I have created this out of random cardstock, a bunch of stuff new and old that I have. It's stuffed full of all kinds of ephemera and little paper bits and things and lace and all kinds of neat stuff. This one's loaded with charms too. So if you like the dingly dangly things and you like the charms, you're going to love this. Okay, so first of all, this journal is 9.5 tall, 7 inches wide, and at the spine, it's 3 inches. Here, I don't know what this is. Let's see. And it's tied together, so it's probably bigger. 6 inches tied together. How fun. How absolutely fun is this? Okay, let me tell you what I made this out of. This was a placemat. I found, this is actually 2 placemats cut down, stitched together. I found these in a thrift store up in the Woodlands where I used to live. And they were an absolute bargain. I didn't know what I was going to do with them, but I knew I needed them, so I bought them. And here we are. I have used them. Again, I cut them down. Here's where I stitched them together. And they are now the exterior cover of this book. Oh my God, just look at it. I love it so much. Okay, I have a little book plate here, and this thing does come out, but it'll take some effort, and I don't want to fiddle with it right now, but this can, add a name or whatever. And then there's another fancier book plate here, which I also like. This one is screwed in, I think. I don't remember, but I don't think this does not come out because I had to glue this down. So this one is mostly for show, although you could put, you could write something in here or put a piece of paper and, whatever. Here's another one of those little ring grommet type thingies. And it holds the dangle. And let me go ahead and take that off and show you what's on here. Okay, so first of all, the clip is an elephant. How cute is that? I don't know if you can actually see that because the thing that holds the phone in the is like it's in the way. I can't really see too well. Here is some sari silk that I purchased off of eBay, I think. And I actually purchased it off of eBay from a lady that lives somewhere here in Houston, which is kind of funny. And then here's a piece of burgundy fabric that I just ripped down. And then more of that sari silk. And then I wanted a ton of charms. So I added a bajillion charms. And this is a piece of lace that I attached to a lace clip. This is a Tim Holtz wishbone. It's probably plastic, but I thought it was cute. And then some of these are simple little charms that I added for the color or I just really liked them. This one, I strung the beads together and created my own charm. Here's a little plastic butterfly. This one is purchased. I really like the colors in there, so pretty. And then a moon I added to it. And I have this little mushroom that's cute, little Hamsa hand. And then this is just a bead. Let's see what else. This video is going to be long, so get you some coffee. for tea or whatever. A key and a flower and another mushy. This is just a pretty little bead, another pretty bead here. And then this, I think this is supposed to be a separator of beads. So when you're making jewelry, sometimes you need separators, and I think that's what this is. And then on this, okay, so this piece was this black piece here was one of those 90s style choker necklaces that they sold, and I just cut it up and added it to this bracelet doohickey. Now these are pretty feathers. They're plastic, iridescent plastic, but I thought they were pretty. Another bead. This one's a little bit iridescent as well. And then this is a moon and sun charm. Oh, and on, let's see, this side, here's another one of those vintage looking charms. And then here's a bead that I strung on a piece of, what is it? It's a head pin, and just curled it into a charm. And then here's a black moon with a rose, and it's real pretty. Some scissors, charm, Sagittarius. This is a little glitter ball that I made. It's teeny tiny, but I bought all the pieces and then put it all together. This flower that I bought with her in mind, little heart charm, and then this little green bead that I purchased. Anyway, so there's 3 strings of charms and then some fabric here. It's just, I mean, and this could be used like as a purse charm, or you could hang it in your car, or, put it back on the book, whatever. These are fun to make though. Okay, back to this. Here is a Egyptian cat charm on a gold paper clamp that is here. Now, as I said, this this book is massive. It's really big. The closure I have is actually just some ribbon in here. There are 4 signatures. There's 192 pages in here. That's like minimum stock paper. Like there's other papers that are added in that do not count towards that. So there's probably closer to 250 all together, but just the base pages, 192 and 4 signatures. Okay, so let's go ahead and open this baby up so you can see all the goodness. All right, let's start here. The front cover, as you can see, I have grommets here, and so this lace actually goes inside. It's glued down underneath here, but it goes all the way across. So this is one piece of this is one piece from this side to this side, if that makes sense. This inside cover has its own little booklet here. I have another charm here with a hummingbird charm. I just attached those 2 together. This is some paper that came out of a junk journal, like paper pad type thing. I cut it out and then just stitched around. These are, this is a brad. This is those little things that you put on the back of picture frames to hold the picture frame closed. I bought those online because they make fabulous closures. So if we open this up, let me move this over. I have decorated the inside with different papers and just different things in here. Let's This is a tag that says Curious Things. I cut these out to hold this card. It could hold whatever, though. And then there's this. And then, like, this doesn't count towards the paper, but it's extra paper. So that's fun, right? I think it is. Then that fits in here. And then this is just another card. On the back is a note card. And I just cut this out from online, like some meme type thing I found, and cut it out and put it on here. Some numerology and angel numbers. And then on this side is another card, printed vintage advertisements, which I absolutely love. They're so much more interesting than the stuff we have these days. And then this is just a collage of different things I had printed off. And this just sits right here. So that's that. It's just something fun and neat. Okay, move this back over. So this book is so big, and it does not have a flexible spine, which in hindsight, I should have made it a flexible spine because it doesn't actually open flat, and that would have been really nice. So, but live and learn. There's always another journal to be made. So here's the first signature. I have stitched with gold thread, and there's this gold lace here that I added to it. And on the inside of that is this piece, which opens. This is an altered envelope. And there's this ribbon that is stitched down as well. Let me move this guy out of the way. And then just, neat stuff in here. And then here's another one of those business card plastic holders from the 80s in here. Nothing in here. It's just the inside cover of this, but it's pretty. It's collaged. And then the first page here, and I've got, this is printed paper junk journal pages you can get online, and I printed it and then I stitched it to this piece of Amazon packing paper, and it gives a nice crinkle noise, and it kind of firms up this paper. Here's another one of those frogs. I mean, playing the banjo. I love it. This is a piece of ephemera I bought. It came in a pack. And then here's another bookmark that I made, like that other one. And then there's the sticker here. This one has a bit of a running theme, a couple of themes running through it. There's a celestial, cosmic kind of theme. There's a goddess theme. There's a gypsy bohemian theme. So there's multiple themes in this particular book, and I think she'll like it. So here is a paper clip that I made with a little sun charm. And these are nice because they can be moved around wherever you want. Little pocket. This actually came off of an old greeting card, and I just cut it down for, you could be used as a bookmark. This is the interior page from an antique book. It fell out of the book. I don't remember what the book was, but I love this kind of 1920s Art Deco stuff. And then here's another one of those little titles that I print off, and can add favorite songs or whatever, or nothing. Don't have to add anything if you don't want to. So this goes in this pocket here, along with this. And then here's another printable stitched onto another printable, onto this page here. This is I got this in a I got this in a Cracker Barrel. I ordered one of their Halloween things online and they sent this card. So it lives in here now. So yeah, and here's like kind of a fairy theme with the fairy door, and then there's this butterfly. So there's, like I said, multiple running themes. And here is another little charm with these iridescent feathers again, and this teeny tiny little spoon. A piece of lace, stitched in, glued down to make a pocket. This is a piece of packaging from some yarn that I bought, and then I just backed it with another printable. This is a brad in the shape of a star on this paper flower, and then I just taped the back with some candy packaging, and it's stitched around, so that's fun. This is an order form from something. Hirschner's order form. That's a textile catalog, like yarn and embroidery and that type of thing. Okay, here's a coffee filter. A gently used coffee filter, and I stamped it with this little sparrow. This is a piece of vintage hotel stationery that came out of my grandfather's stash, and I think this is from, oh, this came out of Austin, Texas. The Villa Capri in Austin, Texas. I haven't even bothered to see if it's still there. Probably not. Here's a piece of paper. I think this was typing paper, and it's just splotched with different inks. Here's a piece of fabric that I stitched a printable onto in this pocket, and there's fun stuff in here. This is just a card that can be used as a journaling card. So like, even though this book is really not a journal, a writing journal per se, I mean, it could, there are places where you can, you know, write notes and keep things in. So it could be used as such. And then this is a piece of vintage map out of a book. So that's fun. Okay, and then here is some tracing paper. Stitched around this. Here's another one of those fantastic printed vintage advertisements, and I really like this one. I like this one a lot. I'll probably use this in more journals. And then, oh, here's another card. So this folds out. And then here's another one of those vintage cards. A paper clip that I altered a little bit to make it prettier. And then this is a piece of ephemera out of a pack. And this piece of paper is glued, I think, onto the top of this paper. Yeah. And then in the center of this signature is envelopes that I decorated and put together to form a centerpiece. And so I've got these two envelopes. They're put together. I put this printable paper here and all of this decorative stuff in here as well. And then, of course, there's pockets and a pocket. And there's this pocket here as well as this pocket here. And ditto for this one, and then this one here. And it's all themed around celestial type stuff. And then down here, these ones, not these. Okay. And then there's another one here. And then I put this in here because I love this color. And when I was painting my craft room, I hadn't figured out which color I was going to use. This was the close second. I decided to go with something that was more like this color. So anyway, not that that makes a difference to y'all, but I did. So, and then here's a vintage slide. This is from Copenhagen. This came from my great aunt Christine. She traveled in the military quite a bit, and she took pictures, and back then they always put things on slides, or at least my family did. And so I have bajillions of slides from places, and so I've, not going to miss these. But they make neat little things to tuck in here. So, and then this, I tried to like keep the colors to kind of flow smoothly. Sometimes I succeeded, sometimes I did not. Get a drink. Sorry, I'm talking too much and my mouth is dry. Okay, so this is a vintage postage stamp from the US. This is back when it was 10 cents, back in 1974. But it's wild colors and kind of crazy fun, and I think she'll vibe with that. And then this page, this came out of a planner that was on clearance somewhere, and so I grabbed it for the paper, and I just stitched it together to form this little fold over pocket. And then this is another paper clip. This tag, I added one of these and a little heart. This has meaning to her. And then here's a giant moon. This is fun. This I had left over. I didn't end up using it in the book, so I just tucked it in here. And okay, so here's another one of those folded over pages that doesn't, it only counts as one page, but it's got multiple in it. And then I decorated the inside, and I stitched it here, decorative stitching onto this piece of fabric. Little pocket here. And then this is some cheesecloth and these little brads here. And there's the back side of that fabric. Oh, and this is also stamped, so it's stamped on both sides. And then here's another lace pocket. And this is paper out of a vintage geography book. So probably don't want to handle it too much, because it's probably pretty brittle. But this is fun. Okay. And then here's another pocket. You see the stitching. Here's another one of these paper clips with this little bobble on the end here. And I had this piece of scrap paper in this, so I just punched a hole in this and tucked it here. There's some stamping, random stamping in here. Here's another. Oh, okay, so in the previous video, I was telling y'all about the paper that looks like it was like inverted, like photographs of a book. Okay, so here's another piece of that. And this is like page number 1, because all the pages are numbered. And in like whatever the sequence is that they photographed them. So, or maybe this is, yeah, I think that's a 1. But you can see here where the book was laid open, and this is the page on this side, and you can see here where it's kind of this way. I don't know. I don't know if this is before, and then also look, it looks like it's it looks like it has these let's see if you can see that, these little holes here as if it's a negative or something. I don't know. I have no idea. It's thicker than regular copy paper. It feels almost like paper, and it's smooth on one side and kind of textured on the other. So it feels like it should have been photo paper, like way back. I don't know. I really don't know what this is. If you know what this is, let me know. But it looks like somebody, maybe it was from microfiche. Remember microfiche film or whatever? Or well, I don't remember how it's called, but Maybe they printed it from that. I have no idea. Anyway, there's another piece in here. So, and then here's a printable here as well. But lots of printable stuff that I added in here. And a little pocket with a little card. And that is the end of the first signature. So signature number 2 kind of flows nicely with the stars. On the inside of this, you can see I've stitched it. This is cellophane packaging that I just kind of folded in half to make pockets, and it stitched it down. And then this is washi tape to secure the edges. So this is actually vintage stationery. Came out of my grandmother's stash. Here's another piece of what is that stuff called? We talked about it earlier in the previous video. Earlier for me, maybe not for you. Oh my gosh. Why does my brain do this? It just has a brain fart. Anyway, it came out of a almanac. Okay. This is vintage vintage encyclopedia page. Little sticker here, some stitching on this paper here, little sticker. This is stitched on, and it's just a little pocket, and I put this little card in here. So this is a pre-made card. Came from some Tim Holtz stuff. And this is a blueprint for a little wagon. I love it. I think it's cute. This is a stamp with some texture that I did. It's a little raised, and it's real smooth. It's fun. Little sticker here on this black paper with washi tape. This is a piano roll paper, and I formed it into a pocket. It's real kind of fragile. It's thin. It's matte on one side, but it is shiny and smooth on this side. And I just used it as a pocket and put some stuff in here. Here's a little fairy, so cute. And then here is another little trinket that I made with a there's a little tiny maple leaf in there. You might be able to see it, maybe not. And a dragonfly on printable that is stitched, has different stitching. This is a piece of coffee filter, and I dipped it in gold ink, metallic ink, and then just put this little word here. This tab is a piece of it's not really lace, but it's you put it on like appliques for fancy dress. Here's more of that gorgeous purple paper that I love so much. And a little doily and a little paper. And then this you can tuck something in right here behind. Or just, however. Okay. And then some more charms on a clothespin. Not clothespin. What are these called? Safety pin. A little pocket with some more of that vintage page, geography book page. And then here's a little bookmark and a sun that I cut from a die cut and just attached here. And then here's the moon from that same die cut with some stars. And this is baking paper, I think. These are vintage stamps from my mom's old collection, and these ones are actually from South Africa. I don't know what the date on this is because it's cut off down here. 8th July 29, I don't know, maybe 1929. Because these might have come from my great-grandfather's stash, which my mom inherited, and then now they're mine. I don't use them too much. I've got hundreds of them, and there's more of this, but I just put it here. And then this is a little belly band to hold this little note card. And these are little fairies here that I just backed onto some card stock and then glued it down. So then here's some more of that card stock. This is vellum, vintage vellum. It's pretty thick though. And then here's a little card that can be used as a bookmark, and you can make notes inside or just leave it in here. Whatevs. Okay, and then here I have multiple, this is dyed, coffee dyed lace, and then some more trim, and then this is a doily, a gold doily. And then in the center of this one, I have these kitty cats out of a, this was an art book. It's basically photos of art from a museum. This one is the Perry Pictures, the Boston edition, and the title of this photo was "In Bitter Cold It Was." It looks like some kitties sitting at a piano, maybe. I'm not really sure what this is. Anyways, I liked it. And then here's a vintage advertisement for Hoyt's German cologne. And I just printed that off the internet and included it. Okay, so this is the center of this signature, and there's this fold out that I have here. And then you can see I used some chocolate packaging to tape down this picture of a cat playing a banjo, because who doesn't like these old images of animals playing instruments? I love them so much. Okay, so here are a couple of pieces of paper attached together. This is a just a little tag, and it opens up, and I've got this little wax seal on this cluster of there's some paper, there's some coffee filter, there's a piece of lace, there's a string that, you know, came off of the sewing machine from stitching all these papers. And I have this little paper clip here with this little heart, and then here's a vintage lady with some pink stitching, and, you know, another place to keep a little hidden note, and another bookmark card tag thing, but all the colors kind of go together. And then here is more writing space. Now the trick is going to be getting being able to write on this, because, you know, look how it falls down. I didn't think it through. I just started having a good time and I ran with it. So, however, I suppose this could be detached here and used. Yeah, that's probably what I would do with it. Okay, so that's fun. And then on the back side, I cut the little squares out of the paper and use it for a, what do you call that? Pocket, little tuck pocket. And then this is a an altered card, index card. And it came in this color, but I stamped it and cut the edges. So, okay, next page here is kind of plain, just, you know, papers. And then here's just some inked tape. And then this one doesn't actually come off, but it can be used. also. And then here's another frog playing a violin or a fiddle, maybe, I'm not sure. And then here's another one of these little tags. This is a little book, and then I put stamps inside. How cute is that? I love it. Another of these paper clips, and here's another one of those sun die cuts. And then this came out of the middle of that, and I put it here. Black paper. I love this mushroom page. It's so pretty. I absolutely love it. And then I found this. This is part of a tablecloth, and I just ripped it down and then stitched this portion of it. And it was too long, but I didn't want to cut it, so I just kind of gathered it up on the edge. Looks great. And as you can see, as usual, I don't cut all the strings off, so there's strings galore here. Now, if you don't like that and you purchase one of my books, snip it. I leave it because I love it. It looks tatty, and I think it's fantastic. This is just a piece of paper that came out of a journal, and I cut it into a tag shape, did some stitching, and put rainy day ideas here. So, but that's removable. That can come out. And then here's the other side of that piano roll paper pocket thingy. And this is actually, this came out of a vintage little book of flowers. And I have no idea where it came from, but it is literally falling apart. Like, none of it is in order. And I figured I'm probably not going to really use much of it, so might as well put it into these types of little journals. Here's the back of that paper. Here's another cluster I did with scissors and a piece of abalone shell, some dyed vintage tablecloth. This is some kind of a ticket, some more fabric here, and then just little cards tucked in and piece of paper tucked in. Okay. Halfway through. Here is the third signature. This has this came out of all of these signature covers came out of junk journal paper pads. I really like this one. I like the gold and the black, and so I found some gold and black lace and stitched it on. And on the inside, I have this fold out little envelope pockets here. So first there's this one, this tag. I think this is a single piece. Yeah. I love this printable. This is a printable I got from online somewhere specifically for this type of crafting, and made this little pocket with this acetate on an envelope here. And these are, you know, just like little memes that you find, but they're so cute. So I'll save them, print them out, put them in this stuff. I don't think there's a copyright on some of these little memes that you find on the internet, right? Is there? I don't know. It doesn't matter because I'm not selling this book anyway. It's a gift. This is an advertisement from a set of cards that I purchased. And I just think that chickens playing cards is funny. So it's in here. And then I just decorated the inside and the back of the envelope here. You can see there's like, well, you might not be able to see, but there's gold stitching here. So this goes in here, and then this opens up and there's another like card in here. Like just a little Tim Holtz card, but I decorated the inside of this as well. And then, yeah, watermelons from the seed store. So this is from the same set, I believe. But how cute is that? I love that watermelon. Okay, I don't even like watermelon. It's a weird texture. I don't like it. The flavor, mwah, delish. The texture, blech, don't like. Okay, this is one of my favorite pages. I don't know why, except for the stitching and the craft paper or the packing paper. I think it might be the whole combination, but I love this page. On the back of it is just a little tuck spot here with some little cards and such. Here is a piece of vellum, and here is a little cluster I made on a printable, so it's stitched. Has half of this butterfly and some. This is a piece of my pants that I tore up because I liked the fabric. So I needed a little piece to back this on, so my pants are in here. And then this bow came off of a piece of packaging, but how perfect is the color match? I love that. This is like a real light sagey green, and so is this printable, this old fairy printable. And then there's this gold tablecloth. I mean, it's just a gorgeous cluster, and I love it. Next page, this is, these are printed. I purchased these files online to print and add into books. So that's in here. This is just a piece of paper that was ripped, and I just backed it onto this paper. And then this is a little tuck spot as well, this little card. I made that a long time ago and found it, and it's perfect for this book. So this page here is an IKEA insert. When you buy IKEA furniture, it's an insert. And it's just too, I mean, this is what makes it a junk journal. I'm reusing paper instead of throwing it away. And then here's a little printable vintage lady, and I just thought it was so pretty. I actually had meant to do something else with this, but I forgot what I was doing, and I ripped off the top part of this pink vellum. And then I sat there and stared at it and just, you know, how you do, like, oh, dum-dum, why did you do that? And then I thought, it doesn't matter. It's still super pretty, and I turned it into a pocket. So, and then here's just a fold-out piece of paper. I really like this paper. This came off a paper pad, but it's real pretty, and it fits the vibe of this page. This is just a little cluster that I made. This is a distressed paper clip that I inked. Here's the cutout from a paper pad from Halloween, and then palmistry. This is actually a place that exists here in Houston somewhere. I've never been, but I found it when I Googled, and I thought, how perfect is that? So if you actually want the phone number, I can give it to you, but kind of, you know, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Anyway, this is stamped on vintage paper. Let me put this back on here. And then these, yeah, just more printed stuff off the interwebs. That is fun to go in here. Piece of paper. Here's a little dude. I mean, how cute is that? Is that a pocket? No, it's just an extra piece of paper. This came out of I used to be a notary back when, oh gosh, like 20 years ago, I was a notary for a company that I worked for. Anyway, I have tons of blank pages inside the notary book. So that's what this is, a blank notary page book. And then here's another paper clip with charms added to it. And this is this can be removed because it's one of those little lobster claw clips. And then some stamping and stitching. Because this page is stitched to this page, which I absolutely love. This is so pretty. Look at the little fish and the moon and the butterfly. So pretty. Okay. This page is cobbled together, and I have some stickers for embellishment here, which I absolutely love. And then, of course, this gorgeous black embroidered trim. This page opens up into more pages. And it's just, you know, more pages and more pages and more pages. Because it was supposed to be a journal. But I got carried away. I hope she likes it. I know she will, but it's just, I love this so much. Okay, so this is the center of this signature, and it has some extra stuff in here as well. This trim, this bohemian type printable here, and then I stamped it with this word. I have a stamp. And then inside is this like waterfall of paper for notes. If I can get my fingers in there. There we go. So that's fun. And then this is just glued to the back of it. And this came off of an earring that I had in the early 2000s. And then here's another little tuck spot. And then here is a deviled crab recipe card. This, I think, was my great-grandmother's. This is an index card, and you can tell it is old as dirt because it is so thick. The index cards they make these days are thinner than what they made when I was a kid, and this is more like cardstock. Like, I don't know if you can hear that, but holy cow. It's thick. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this is my great-grandmother's because my grandmother's handwriting was not this pretty. So, and if you can read it, great. Take a screenshot right there. But yeah, anyway, I love it. And then this is just, you know, another one of those fold out pieces of paper. Now I inked around it to, you know, give it that aged vibe, but, and then there's some stamping here. And then this is another one of those little fabric clusters that I made to embellish the page. And another paper clip. Now this one has a piece of chain, like necklace chain that I put together and then added the charm to. So there's that. Pond's extract, the people's remedy. It's toads. It's toads and a duck, and they're handing each other. I mean, how cute is that? And y'all know I love my toads. Okay, so here's an envelope that I made and embellished, and it just has some paper in it. So there's that in there. More paper. I just put stickers because some of the pages were kind of plain, so I put stickers on. And then this one, I love this vintage ad. I think this was actually a vintage greeting card for the new year. I don't remember. I added glitter. Some of it has fallen off, so I am sorry about that. And then I just put in here, embrace whimsy, because how whimsical are these guys? I love that. That's so cute. Stardust dance. I'm not sure, but it's cute. And then there's a little, I just stitched that on by hand. And this is vintage thread. And this is from like the 1940s, this burgundy thread. And the needle with the rest of the thread that I had on here is actually in another book that I'm giving away. And then here's just a little, another place to put notes. And this is on the back of that IKEA paper. Here is a piece of art. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at all this glitter. Pixie dust everywhere. I don't normally add glitter to things. Like I might have something in here that has like some glitter or shimmer on it, but typically I don't add glitter because it's messy. And if it annoys me, it probably annoys a lot of other people. But in this case, we have a pixie and we needed this pixie dust. I decided. And this is just a little place to write notes, but it's also a pocket. with some stuff. And then here's some more of that almanac paper and just some other papers. Okay, so this is stitched, bedazzled with glitter that is coming off in droves. I've probably used the wrong kind of glue, but whatever. If you don't like it, just kind of rub your hand across it. It'll come right off, and then just scoop it in the trash. And it's chunky glitter too. Look, see? Just leave it. I like this page. I like this butterfly. It's real pretty. And here's that vellum. Here's some more of that. This is packaging from Belgian waffles that you can get at the grocery store. But it's perfect for a little tuck spot. And this is Lion Coffee. You can find this image. It's an old advertisement from turn of the century, I think. So, and then here's the back of that mushroom paper that I love so much. This I had laying around. I had cut it out for a different project a long time ago, but it's perfect for the inside of this. So, and there's just different stuff in here. Okay. Last signature. And it has this cluster here, which I love, and this green, and there's this kind of velvet ribbon and this gold ribbon, and this cluster with this butterfly, and it's got some of this gold ribbon here. And what is this stuff called? Coffee filter. Nobody's ever going to watch my videos because I can never remember what anything is called. I have brain farts constantly, and I say way too much. But I have a good time, so I'm going to keep making them, even if nobody watches. Okay, so here's another one of those vintage printable ads. And I just backed it to a index card. And again, this index card, you can purchase these in different colors, and I really like these earth tones. So that's that. And this is vintage packaging, cellophane packaging that I made into a pocket, and it's stitched and then glued down. And then I just have different stuff in here, mostly just, kind of neat stuff to look at, because, again, if you don't use the book as a journal, or, for keepsakes or whatever, it's just neat to look through. Okay, so this is a piece of paper from my grandma's stash. She used to take, I think it was Life magazine, and magazines back then, the periodicals, a lot of them in the 40s, 50s, whatever, they were large. They're not this, relatively standard size that we have now. They were big. And she clipped recipes. Now, here is the infamous Jell-O salad thing that was popular. Let's see, this says, I think this is copyright 1952. Yeah. This is from Better Homes and Gardens, 1953. It says here. Better Homes and Gardens, 1953. Well, anyway, this paper is huge, as you can see, and it's brittle because it's, it came out of my grandma's stash. It's vintage. And you can see she put the hole punches, so she had them in a, what do you call that thing? A notebook, a binder, 3-ring binder. Although I think this one only had 2 rings. I don't remember because I don't have it anymore. But anyway, that's just, I think that's kind of neat. Okay, so this, make sure I have it folded properly here. So that's fun stuff. And then this, the willows. Okay, so my grandmother used to buy cut glass. Cut glass was super popular for a long time. You can't afford leaded crystal. Cut glass and even pressed glass came into it. She didn't buy pressed glass. She bought cut glass. And she bought it typically used or vintage. And she had a lady in New York that she used to purchase things from as well. So this is part of one of those letters, and I thought it was kind of a neat thing to add. Okay, another little cluster stitched on this little card. I just thought it was pretty, but you could, write a note on it or something. And then the paper clip is, just prettied up a little bit. And this is purchased. Both of these are purchased ephemera, so nothing special there. Just pretty. Live, laugh, leave me alone, because I think she'll appreciate this vibe. I know I do. But again, it's another one of those, what do you call them? Memes. Like, you just find the memes online and you just print them because they're perfect. And, then there's this, which is, now this I printed off the internet, but it is a vintage, calendar from 1872. An image from that calendar. And it just kind of goes. I don't know. I like it. So that's in there. And then this is a little cluster I made with some velvet ribbon and this trim stitched on. And then this, and another piece of vintage map paper here. Ontario. Anyways, so there's that. This is just kind of clustered together. This is folded over. And this is from Woman's Home Companion, February 1932. So that's how big a lot of the magazines were back in the day. And then another one of these paper clips I made that can be moved around. Okay, and then again, if you know, you know. And then here is another bookmark. This is inked but not stamped. I think this stamping was printed on here. And made this little peacock into a pocket, and it's a double pocket. And then this page, I love this. So this piece of printed paper here is actually packaging from a bar of soap. And it's just so beautiful. And I bought the bar of soap, I don't know, from one of those resale shops. But I loved the label. And so I cut the part out with the words. And I put some cellophane on here, stitched around it, and turned it into a little tuck spot. And then this is a piece of, missed call note from my dad's stash. This is from when he was in the Army, and this is from 1981. So I got a pad of that so I can use it. And then it just folds open. And then this is also a tuck here that can be used. Let me just put this in here. And then it's also a tuck here. So how fun is that? And it's getting harder to show you stuff because, like I said, it's not a very flexible book, but it is fun. And then here is just a little printed piece, and then another piece from the almanac. And then this is stitched on too. No, this is a piece of printable that is glued onto watercolor paper that I have inked and then glued onto this piece of steno pad, which is then glued onto this paper here. So it's like a, what do they call, Franken page. This is a vintage flower pages. out of a book that I got. It is absolutely falling apart. So better than going in the trash, it goes in here. And then every single one of these signatures has one of these little placeholder ribbons. I don't have anything on the end, but I know she has her own charms and such from jewelry making and whatnot. So I thought she could either add her own or um, maybe take some off of here and add it to personalize it, or or nothing, just leave it. That's fine too. So here's another piece of my pants that is used to put two pages together. This is a printable with this rose fairy. I think is real pretty, and the colors match this paper here. So I added this. This isn't vintage. This is like a ticket, receipt ticket. But I think this is tea dyed. And then here's another little thing, and it just matches the colors. So some things are just in here because of the colors more than anything. And then this is from my grandma's stash of stuff. And this paper, I like this paper. I bought this journal specifically for this paper before I ever started doing journals. And when I started doing these kinds of journals, I deconstructed this one to use the pages because they're just gorgeous. Okay, this is a printable. This is a piece of baking paper that I stamped and stitched down, and I just tucked this in here. This is a old bookmark that was when you went to the bookstores. Sometimes authors make bookmarks to advertise their books when they're coming out, and that's what this is. And they would just give them away at the bookstores. So that's what that is. This is just stamped, and the purple flows with the purple, flows with the purple, flows with the blue. I love it. I don't know if y'all can hear Kazuya. Oh my God, he's so whiny. Oh my God. Okay, and then this is another one of those envelope centerpieces, and I just put all this gorgeous printable paper. It's so pretty. Just the colors are insane. They're so vibrant. And there's this. This came off. This is a wine label that came off of a bottle I had. It was really good, actually. And then this is a piece of journal paper from my grandma's stash from the 30s, 1932, Saturday, April 9th. And she was at university at the time, and there was a dance at the university club. How fun is that? She didn't write much in this diary, so there's not a whole lot of usable pages like this, but I like it. So that's in here. And then this is one of those vintage playing cards again. And then just some other little papers in here. And here's another envelope, altered envelope. This is a commemorative envelope from the post office from July 1971. I don't know if this is worth money now, but if the post office ever collapses in this country, like it seems like they're trying to privatize it, this might be worth money to collectors one day. But don't worry, folks, I have more. And then this was in my grandpa's stash. It's just a little card. I don't know what the date is, probably 50s maybe. Okay, so that's in there. And then in this little tuck here are just some little little doodads. Okay, here's another dangled paper clip with charms. I just attached multiple ones here and made my own. Actually, I made all of these. And this one, this purple one, is actually a bell. A little miniature bell. Anyway, the colors match the paper clip and I love it. Oh, here's a vintage playing card from my grandparents' stash. And then this is just more. Oh, yeah. Well, how does this work? Okay. Yeah. Blank on that side. Pretty paper on this side. And let me just put it here. Little pocket, little sticker, some little numerology things, again, printed off of probably Instagram or something. Just some of the paper is embellished with just simple stuff like some stitching or sticker. This is a poem. I really like this. Friendship is the golden thread that ties the heart of all the world. Can you see that? There we go. And I just put this golden thread, embroidery thread here. But it's also a pocket with this little tag and this piece of waxed paper. Adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. I had this from my grandma's stash. It's the Queen of Hearts with a heart paper clip. And then here's a little booklet here, and inside is this vintage postcard. I don't know how old this is. I picked it up at a thrift shop, but it's old because this is before color photography, and they actually colored the black and white images and then reprinted it. All right, and then this is the back, and there's another little pocket here with some stuff and some little tape that, you know, just kind of stitched it all down. And then at the very back of this book is this last little bit, and open it up and open it up here. Okay, so here's the top, and there's the bottom, and then you open it up here and here as well. And then here is the book plate. And I need to sign it and stamp it and personalize the cover somewhere. I got to figure out where to do it because I covered everything up. But it's fun. I really enjoyed making this. Like, I really went to town, and I was in the craft room for days and days. So, having a good time. So again, maybe not the best for actually writing in, but certainly fun. And then here's this set of charms. I just attached these together. So that's it. That is this ginormous journal. It's more of an art, not an art book, more of a collector type book, because, you know, while you probably could write in this, you know, and there's tons of spaces to add things, I'm not sure. It's not, because it's not quite as flexible as some of my other books where you can open them flat. And this is just so massive. It's definitely fun to look through, and I enjoyed looking through it with you. And if you enjoyed it, please do all the likes and thumbs ups and subscribes and all the things. And if you're interested in commissioning one of these from me, let me know because I love to make this stuff. So that's it for today, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.